So I'm out in the shop, it's hot. I'm gonna try to make a Lego sorter, and I've seen them online, you can buy them, but they're like super expensive, they don't seem very hard to make. So I'm gonna get some materials and, well, I already have the materials. I'm gonna show you what materials I got and how I'm putting things together to make my own DIY Lego sorter. So I have here some thin 6mm plywood. I had it cut at the store into 60 by 60 centimeter squares. That was just the easy way to divide up the sheet that I bought it as. So I had him cut it there. Again, it's nice and square. It was quick and easy to do that. And then I am using this piece of 1x, it's like 1 3/8 or 1 3/4 by almost 3/4 of an inch thick. This is going to be the border that's going to go around all of the edges to kind of make each of these to be like a shelf, like a bin, basically. And then, as you can see, I've already started because I am super want to get stuff done and I forgot about recording things. So all I did is I laid out my grid. So I just cordoned off the edges of where the strips are going to be, and there's lots and lots of carnage. And then I just laid down my grid. So this is actually the third smallest size I'm doing. This is 1.5 inches. Down there I started 2.5 inch, but my blade is super duper dull, and that's not working out so hot. And then, where's it at? Over here. Here I have the 2-inch one already done. So again, just simply slayed it out, started drilling. I have a piece of backer board here. You can see it's all, so this is chewing up a little bit, but it's not horrible. It's better than blowout would be if I was just going straight through this. So it's easy enough to do, and you can see here, so I'm getting kind of a little bit more dense with the holes, and my plan is to go down. So I have 2.5 inch, 2 inch, 1.5 inch. I have a 1 inch, I have a 3/4, and then I might do this 1/2 inch, or I might do something smaller than that to catch all the 1x stuff, which should be good enough to do. I can just say that doing this by hand is absolutely brutal because my hand is almost bruised now from just doing these, doing some of that, some of this, and this entire thing. So far I've been out here for, what has it been, about 3 hours, I guess, and I haven't really sanded much of it yet. I'll have to hand sand some. I'm also going to do a round over on these once the bit comes in. I have a palm router, but I don't have bits for it apparently. So I'm waiting for those to come in. And then I'll show you where I'm at next, which will be a little while from now. All right, so I'm mapping out now the 1 inch holes. So what I did is I did a grid of 1/2 inch across the whole board. And now I'm just kind of figuring out placement. I don't need them to be super duper close. So I can go a little bit further with these, just because there's so many and they're so small. But as you can see, I've already got, there's 40, 50 holes on here already. Still have another third of the board to go. So I'm just doing this to map everything out, and then I'll kind of show all the different sizes once I finish all the boards. So my first attempt at drilling these 1/2 inch holes was horrible because I don't have the right bit. So I am switching to the laser now and cutting all of my 1/2 inch holes. So all I did was I just created a 7x7 pattern, 1/2 inch holes, 1.5 inches apart from each other on center. And then I just I already had this one done. I lined the new sheet up on top of it. And now I'm just doing it in 4 quadrants because it's a 14 by 14 grid. And it's coming up pretty good. You can see some of them kind of popped right out right away. Some of them not so much, so I'll do one more pass before I move it just to really get that. And my kids are washing the dogs, so they're screaming. But hey, this is going pretty good. Okay, go ahead, blow it off. Yeah, blow it off. All right, so there's 529 holes in the very last layer. These are 1/8 inch holes. And it took me over an hour to drill all these. But this is the dust level, so everything, all the small pieces will fall down to here, and then hopefully the dust will come out, or you can use a vacuum underneath to pull it out. But yeah, that is 23 by 23 grid of 1/8" holes. All right, so here's the casters. I just picked up some cheap ones because I was going to order some, but they'll take too long to get here. So I'm just using some 25 mil M3.5 screws with some washers, and then I just put them only in the outer three because they go into this thicker border board. If you're using a thinner board for this, you can see how thick that is, about almost 3/4 inch. If you're using a thinner board, you'll have to figure out a different way to do this, or use a thicker bottom board. So I don't actually have enough pieces to do like a dust catch, so this is just going to be the very bottom, actually this underside of it. But yeah, so I've got all of the casters on now. I got 2 locking and then 2 non-locking. You can do non-locking. It was literally like 20 cents difference. But yeah, so that's on there now. And what I am doing is the rest of these are all sanded, and I still need to dust them off, but they're all sanded and ready to go for polyurethane, my polyurethane station here. And that is what I did on this one, and it's nice and smooth and sealed. Again, I didn't do the bottom because no one's going to see it, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, so now I need to get to polyurethane all these, finish the last board over there, which is still on the laser cutting. All right, so 2 more boards, polyurethane and drying now. I got those 2 done. I already showed you the bottom is the wheels on, ready to go. So let those dry, and I still have a little bit more to go on cutting here. I have 1 more cut to make, and then be able to get this one sanded, painted, and put together. What is that thing? Just get, grasshopper, get. Goodbye. Okay. So I guess I never really went over how I'm building these. So this is 6 mil plywood that I'm using. This is the one that I just laser cut. You can see 196 or whatever, 49 times, 47 times 4 is. And I'm using these kind of, I guess, like 1-bys. They're 44 mil by 19 mil is what I'm using. And that is what's making the tray for these. So I'm cutting each of them to fit. So I've got another one right here. It just fits in perfectly right there. And I am using just some wood glue and my nail gun here, and I'm just tacking those down to each of those. So they're only about, what, 1 3/4 inches tall. You could make these taller, but this works out pretty well, I think, for a depth. This is the last tray, so this is for all like the 1-bys and like the real small minifigure parts and whatnot. So yeah, I'm gonna finish putting this one together. I'm going to then polyurethane it because the other ones are all done. They're just finishing drying over there. And then I have to put on the corner registries. I'll show you what that looks like whenever I get to it, but that'll be tomorrow because it's nighttime and I want to get this done tonight. Okay, so here are the 3D printed corners that I made. They're out of flexible filament, so they are soft. I did this so that it wouldn't damage the wood at all, but you could easily just cut a piece of the plywood and that could be for your corner. Now these registries are so that all of these stack up properly. I already did all these ones, so I figured I was going to show this. And you can do it so many different ways. Again, if it's wood, you can just glue it, use some wood glue. These I've left flat. I'm using some VHB, had some laying around, so I just put it on the back of this, and then I'm using some cutoffs. I just made a template, so this will go here in the corner, kind of line that up, and then when I put VHB, this will just go right there, and I do one in all 4 corners, and then all of these register, so I can do this. That one's a little bit loose, but I mean, they all hold together quite well. This one's just a little bit of slop in it, but it's okay. It just holds it true to what it needs to be, so I'm gonna do that. We'll eventually make a handle to put on this. You don't really need it. I also tried this once without this at all on it. It worked just fine, but I'm gonna go ahead and make a lid for it anyways. All right, load it up. Real quick. pieces are easily sortable, and they're different sizes. Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
Did it get started?
I think so. What do you think?
Yeah.
Did a good bit. All right, so here's where it lives now, in our Lego room. And you can see things have changed. Started making a little city here. But you can see everything sorted now here on these bins, which makes life so much easier. We still need to get some more, either some of these storage here or some of these, but like this is all minifigure parts and things like that. This is just a lot of like all of the 1x short and 1x long and 2x short. And we have a whole bin of like 2x long. So it's not like crazy sorted, but it's enough that the kids can come in here, get the parts they want, plates, anything like that, vehicle parts. They can get what they want. They can build things. Here, again, our little city here. Luke's built like a little like tower here. He's built some whatever here, you know, with panels and trees. So again, they can just kind of have fun with it. And then when they're done, they just put everything into a little bin here, and then I can like sort it back out. But it's been so much easier for them to find parts they want to play with and just be able to have fun with it, and not just like, you know, shifting through giant bins of Lego and whatnot. And this also isn't everything. I also have this here because again, I don't have enough of these right now for everything. So in here I have, you know, modified plates, snots and jumpers, modified bricks, wheels. The wheels bin is always popular. And then I have some bags here. This is all wedges, and then cones and things. This is a set that I need to rebuild for one of them. This is when we moved. But yeah, so I think this works out pretty well for them. And we would not have been able to do any of this if it wasn't for building that sorter. All right, so thanks for tuning in. Hopefully this project was a little bit helpful for you to try and build a sorter like that. If you want to try to get a little bit of control over your Lego pieces, this might be something that's good for you. Again, we really wanted to be able to organize just even a little bit to make it easier for the kids to be able to play and build whatever their little imagination wants to build. So thank you all for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. I'll leave some links down below for some of the things that I've used in this video so that you can help support the channel. I appreciate that. All right, so thanks for watching and happy building.